What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back again with a brand new video. We are here doing daily races for the brand new week. As you can see, we are starting in 11th as I am doing something a little bit different for the daily races. All I'm doing is just jumping into the qualifying, doing one qualifying lap, hoping for the best, and wherever I get for the qualifying lap, that's going to be my qualifying time for each one of these races. So if you haven't yet, we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you guys really enjoy this content, subscribe down below as I post daily GT Sport videos. And eventually we're going to post daily racing videos. So if you guys like the content, leave a like on the video and subscribe down below. And let's make this goal happen. Anyways, we're jumping up into our race here. So we are starting in 11th again here at Lake Maggiore. I think I pronounced that correctly. As we jump up into the race now. We're heading into turn number 1. It's a very, very long right turn as we are coming out of the right-hander of turn number 1. The 9th place actually loses grip coming out of the turn, and we're able to make an easy overtake as now we are trying to just catch up to 8th place. And as you can see, we jump all the way to the end of the race as nothing really happens, as this track is very, very difficult with racing as a lot of cars get very, very separated. As 7th place goes spinning there, we're able to make another position up, and the cars ahead of us actually have a penalty. So all we're going to do here is just try to catch up to the 2 cars ahead of us and try to see if we can get inside that penalty slot and hopefully make up a couple positions. Coming to the end of the race, coming to the line now. Yes, we were able to make 2 more positions, so we finished in 5th place as we start jumping up into our second race. So we are here at the Autopolis Speedway in the Toyotas, and we're starting in 7th as that was our only qualifying lap that we decided to post up for this race, as we are here on the Toyotas, I believe, heading into turn number 1. We get a really good launch off the line, so we get a pretty good gap between us and 8th place. As you see, 6th place actually backs off really, really early, so we're able to make an overtake on him as we head into turn number 1. Going down this short straightaway that leads us into turn number 2, we're trying to get the slipstream of 5th place and the Brazilian ahead of us. And so we get behind, I believe, the inside right here and follow the Brazilian through this turn right here. We give him a little bit of a shove to push him forward, and we go on to the outside of the American. But we get tapped from 7th place, so we actually go a little bit wide, going back to the 7th place guy and actually make contact with him again as we brake very, very early, heading into the slalom right-hander right here. And we're able to maintain 6th position as we are heading towards the middle of lap 1. Coming to the end of lap 2, we are catching up on the top 4 right here. Let's head into the long right-hander, and the Brazilian actually goes spinning, so he hits the wall. We're able to make an easy position there, get into 5th place as we head into the final sector, and nothing really happens there, so we jump up into lap 3. Coming into turn number 2 to turn number 3, we try to make a move on the inside of 4th place. He gives us the space there, but he kind of closes the gap right there as we head into turn number 6. Brake very, very early so we can try to get a good cutback coming off, and we can hopefully get some good top end speed coming out of this right-hander as we're going to head into this long, windy left-hander here. We stay behind 4th place and try to stay in the slipstream as we're going to come off right here. That's going to lead us into a hairpin, but nothing really happens there as well. So we jump up into lap number 4, and you can see 4th place has a 7-second penalty as he got a corner cut and gave him a 7-second penalty. So I don't know if the crime deserves a 7-second penalty, but he got a 7-second penalty. So we're staying behind him. We're trying to make a move on the inside. We give him a little bit of a tap there, so we kind of hit the bump and force an aggressive move there. And we're going to back out of the left-hander here as there's really no reason to fight him right now because he's going to have to serve a 7-second penalty, and 1st place is just long gone from us. So the best we can hope for is a 2nd place for this race, as you can see 1st is way ahead of us. Coming to the hairpin, we try to brake as late as we can right after that 2nd board, and we get a good cut on the inside, trying to squeeze him out a little bit wide and get into the slipstream of 3rd. He has to serve his penalty in the penalty zone, and we're able to gain an easy position there, jumping up into 4th. Now, going into lap number 6, we're right behind 3rd place here, coming out of the final 2 corners, or actually not the final 2 corners, but the final sector here, as we're going to head into the final 3 corners, coming into this long left here, that's going to lead us into this very, very long right-hander. We're still behind 3rd as we're trying to get a move on the inside, brake very early to get a good exit coming off of the final turn. We're getting behind the slipstream again of third place, as the slipstream is pretty powerful here, but it's still very difficult to make the overtake because once you catch up to them, if you pull out of the slipstream, you basically lose all the momentum. So you kind of have to just follow them and just hopefully stay with them throughout the second sector and try to make an overtake during the second sector, since it's a lot more easier to try to stay with them and hopefully make a move on the inside of them. So coming into turn number 1, second place actually goes very, very wide and hits the dirt road, spins out, and that's an easy third place for us, as we're going to try to make a move on the inside heading into turn number 2 on second place. We're alongside him as we brake very, very late. He gives us the position, so we're able to make the overtake, and we have to defend our position now as he gets a very, very good run on the inside. We make contact with him, we force him a little narrow going into that turn. We brake very, very early heading to the right-handers. We try to cover our spot, go very, very wide coming off the turn as we head into this long left-hander. So we're going to try to stick it on the inside and stay right here, as we're going to have the preferred line coming into this left-hander. He gets a very, very good run throughout the middle of the turn and actually is on our back bumper here. So we're going to have to cover him heading into this hairpin coming up right now. So we're going down the straightaway, covering the inside here as we're trying to defend really well. Coming after the second board right there, brake very, very late, try to cover the inside, and we're able to do that, park the car, and we are able to maintain second coming onto this long straightaway. As we look behind him, we're able to kind of pull away from him as we head into the end of lap 7 here. Coming to the final lap, coming into the final turn, and we're going to be able to get second. As you see, third and fourth just finish very, very, very far behind us. So we're able to get a second position there. So not that bad. We finished in 5th, we finished in 2nd. So let's jump into our very last race, where we race in the Tesla. This is a very, very weird car to race on this racetrack. As you can see, let me just let you guys hear the engine. You hear that? That's silence. So nothing really, you don't really hear anything from these cars. So it's a very, very weird, somber just race, because it's just, you don't really hear anything. It's very, very interesting that you guys just hear the tires screeching and hear the rumble strips rumbling when you run them over. But yeah, we start off in 2nd. We let first place get ahead of us heading into turn number 1, as we decided to not fight him. Going into turn number 1, we stay right behind him as we go more into lap number 1. The car behind us almost hits us, as I think he actually went spinning out. So we're able to pull away from 3rd and 4th, heading to the final part of the lap as we are heading towards the end of lap number 1. Nothing really happens throughout the race, but it's just a very, very interesting race, and it's a fun little race. If you slam on the brakes too early or too hard, actually, you end up spinning. As we get coming into lap number 4 here, or the end of lap number 4, we actually get a really, really good run, but we just braked a little too early, so we clipped the grass too narrow, and we actually get a 0.5 of a second penalty as we head down the straightaway. We're passing right the straightaway here, crossing the start-finish line as we stay behind the slipstream of first place. Going to turn number 1, we try to brake right after I believe the 100-meter board. As we do, we brake very, very late, trying to make a move on the inside of first place. We actually gain a ton of time on him, get a really good exit coming into the right-hander here. We're staying right behind first place, as we're going to have to serve our penalty, but let's see how long the penalty is going to affect us. It really doesn't affect us much, as we just stay on the gas and only lose maybe like 0.2 of a second, or yeah, 0.2 of a second here, as we get a really good exit coming out of this turn. We're starting to catch up a little bit on first place as he clips the wall a little bit coming into this left-hander, and then leads us to the S's. We're trying to stay behind on the slipstream and hopefully get close enough to make an overtake on the final corner of the last lap here. As we brake very, very early, we actually lose it the back end, and we spin out. So we reset back onto the track right here, and we try to get back on the throttle as fast as we can, so we lose second place. And that was a mistake on our part. We forced the issue too much on the final corner when we didn't really have to, and we're going to pay for that, as we're going to still finish on the podium, but we probably could have finished in 2nd as we crossed the line in 3rd place during this Tesla race. So not a really good week for daily racing, not very interesting of the races, but this track was a little bit of fun, but I think I need to move a little bit higher on the rankings with some of these cars. But yeah, if you guys really enjoyed the video, subscribe down below, leave a like on this video. It really helps out the channel. And before we head out, I'm actually going to show you guys that I switched manufacturer teams as I'm going to leave the Aston Martins and join a brand new team. And I'm actually going to unveil that right now. So we're heading towards the loading screen, jumping into what car we're going to move into, and it's right there, the Mercedes-Benz. So I decided to pick the Mercedes-Benz for this 2020 Manufacturer Cup, as Aston Martin was just being very, very unreliable on handling tracks. And I just feel like the Mercedes are a lot more balanced when it comes to top end speed and handling. So that's the reason why I decided to switch teams and head to Mercedes. So join the Silver Arrows heading into this 2020 Manufacturer Cup season. So yeah, catch those videos by the end of this week. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.